lot of changes today, huh? Roll with it. It's time for the little girls to join the big ones. The big flock and all the drama that goes along with that. This one's super sweet. She always jumps up. We have friends over. She always jumps up and I would pick her up and love on her. Out of the cage, she always jumps up here out of the cage and I pick her up and love on her. So yeah, looks like she'll be one of the first to go. Okay, let's grab these babies. Get them in there. Okay, this is gonna rock your world, girls.
Time for maturity has come.
Yes, the rite of passage and all that. Okay, we'll put them down together. You guys bring more.
Well, I would if I could catch one.
Oh, okay. All right, they're faring well. Rocket's like, oh, new chickens in my flock. He's so excited about that. What do you think? So we have one rooster, one roost. So that was a pretty good, I mean, I think we have one roost. Poor thing, all by himself. I do feel sad for him too. Aww. Yeah, this one's a Delaware, and I got a leghorn, a white leghorn, because I've never had them before, and she lays an amazing egg. I mean, she lays
good
eggs.
production.
Good production, right? Yeah. And then I got some dark colored Morans.
Black Morans.
Yes, and then this girl with the puffy cheeks is an olive egger.
From your own flock.
Yes, that I hatched. So I have several olive eggers. There's another olive egger. So that would be exciting. So lots of new egg colors, dark eggs, white egg. I think the leghorn lays a white egg.
I believe so.
Yeah, so.
So I read somewhere that the ear color is indicative of egg color.
Yes, it is. I know, Rocket. It's an exciting day.
This chicken right here is a very fetching chicken.
Yeah, she's
flock,
a red lavender, I think.
Orpington?
No,
She's got the puffy
lace.
cheeks of an Easter Wyandotte?
Yes, Wyandotte. That's right. Wyandotte.
And then that gray one with the gray and the copper, she's very pretty too.
I hope that's a girl. Yes, that's one of the ones I hatched.
Well, if they're not all girls, we're going to know it pretty quick.
Yeah, that's right.
So these girls should begin to lay approximately late September or October.
Yes, when the weather gets cool, because they're spring chicks.
Mature then.
So believe it or not, you guys, now I have almost 30 chickens. Yikes, how did that happen? Chicken math. Chicken math. So Lynn brought up a good idea. She was thinking I probably need more roosting space for all these chickens that I'm adding, that I didn't really think of that.
It's pretty peaceful for incorporating that many chickens.
Yeah, pretty peaceful so far. And my automatic door opener helps in that it opens at the first light. So then they can come out, because the time that you worry about the most incorporating is when they're trapped in the coop together in the morning, because they all wake up and then they get picked on.
Yeah.
So the fact that it opens without me having to come out here at the crack of dawn is very helpful. And then they can run around and escape and stuff. But I think the rooster he doesn't allow much picking on.
What I've read, I don't have a rooster, I've never had a rooster, but what I've read is that their dominant hen, whatever their alpha hen is, will both provide some mediation of conflict.
Yes, I've noticed that. He doesn't really put up with people picking on one another,
Yeah.
so that's one advantage of having a rooster.
Yes, I wish I had one.
Well, this is what we've got so far. The shadows and sun are not working with my camera, but here's our knot expert. So valuable to have a knot expert around.
I cannot. I cannot not.
So my friend has had a lot of success hanging her bars, right? And even if they swing like this one is going to, kind of a swingy bar.
Well, people put swings in their coops as boredom busters for their chickens.
True.
And
so you found that your chickens roost okay, even though it's not steady.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I have a girlfriend who had a flock in Kentucky, and she had her birds were voluntarily nesting in the tree.
Right, they do nest in trees, and branches probably sway.
So
okay, all right. We're gonna give it a try. Thanks.
Okay, so.
And unfortunately, some girls need to be taken out of the flock. Some are older and not laying anymore. And if they make it through the summer heat, then they need to be taken out of the flock. So that's why I have new ones coming in and old ones going out, which is just a part of life. Homestead Victory, more roosting space. Yes. So it's kind of wobbly, you guys, so I'll try to see. This one's not, it doesn't have as much swing as this one though. Okay, that's not, well, yeah, that's a lot. So we'll see. My friend says her chickens just roost on it, no problem. Okay, and then this whole branch. So that's about 26 linear feet, and I've got almost 30 chickens, so that should do it. We'll see. So cool to have friends helping out, because that wasn't really on my radar, that I need more roosting space, with including the little flock with the big flock. I just hadn't thought that through, so it's great to have friends that can point that out to you. My girls are just so hot, you guys. And they just will not leave her alone and sit on these eggs. And you might notice this has a little cross beak issue, this one right here, who's sitting on my eggs. So I definitely want to, I don't want to say this right in front of her, but I definitely want to get that out of my flock and out of my breeding program. So yeah. But she's so dutifully sitting on my eggs. So anyway, look at how hot they are. Oh my goodness. It is hot out here, you guys. You guys, I usually try to avoid being out in the heat of the day, and every camera angle I try is just not good right now. There's sunshine, there's shadow. It's not, yeah, it's not working for me. But anyway, I am just gonna put up one more roosting bar in my coop for tonight, and I'm gonna see where they roost tonight. It'll be interesting to see whether they like to all crowd on the bar that I had here originally. That's what I think is gonna happen. And the one on this side too, that was up originally, but we changed it. We took it off the ground and put it up. So it has a little sway to it though. Has a little sway to it. And I need to move my water thing. I'm also thinking they're gonna all crowd around on there. We'll see what happens. Like all perch on the water. We'll see. Then there's this one, which is like a circus act roost. There's a lot of play going on here. We'll see. I'm so curious to see which one they like. And then I'm going to put up one more right here to take this space up. Let's utilize the space, you guys. I'm not sure that this is wide enough branch that they'll really like this, but we're going to give it a try. Thought I would, oh yeah, I was gonna do it this way. Thought I would just kind of extend this roost by putting it in here like that. See where it naturally lays. All right, like that. So I might need to tie this together so it won't move. I'll do that. But I'm gonna run a screw in here also. Just kind of extending that side. We'll see what they think. I can see all the babies maybe perching on here. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna run a screw down there just to kind of firm it up so it won't fall when they try to perch on it, because that will not be a favorite spot if it falls the first time they try to get on it. Woo! Okay, well that's attached. All right, I don't think I need to attach anything here. I mean, I don't think I need to tie it together because it's sitting quite nicely. I don't see how they could mess that up. Anyway, All right. Let me see if I can get a shot of all the roosts. Okay, now we have this side to choose from, or this side to choose from. Need to move my water for sure. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So we'll see what they choose. Unfortunately, I have something at church to do tonight, so I don't think I'm gonna be here. I really wish I was gonna be here though, because I would love to be a fly on the wall when they come to roost. And the little ones come in here and the big, well, I hope the little ones come in here. Oh, good thoughts. They might stay out tonight. My guess is they will probably crowd around this area where their old cage is right on the other side of this fence. So kind of like they're kind of hanging in this area already. So my guess is tonight they will just hunker down here and not go into the big coop. What do you guys think? And I won't be here, so that will be difficult, but all right. We'll work it out when I get home, I guess. Okay, let's see how it turned out. I'm gonna predict the babies went over in their corner. Yep. They're all the babies. Oh, a couple on the coop. Oh, that's an older chicken on the coop. Interesting. Okay. And then one of the babies. All right, so they end up there. The other girls are in there. And I'm predicting that they're on the same roost bars that they always were. No, nobody's really changed position. I'm just gonna predict. Yep. There's those. Oh, those two are still in the nest fighting over who's gonna sit on those eggs. And you guys are right here. Just like always, okay. Nobody's on the end, the new end part. Nobody's on that new part. Okay. Well, how many get these babies in here? Because they're not safe out here. That's for sure. All right, let's get these babies. Find a place. Get comfortable. This is your new roost. Automatic door opener will open in the morning at first light so everybody can come out and run around the yard. Alright. Night, girls. Good night.
So this one is just a lid, and this one is a pressure release valve. So we had to seal the pressure release portion of the lid with silicone sealant that's safe for plants and fish, but it will prevent it from dripping whenever it's on the bottom of the grow bed.
Attaching the base to the frame. We cut it off, flipped it over, and now attaching it back to the frame. You get an idea of how it's going to look? Hey you guys, good morning. My goal today is to get this beautiful hive all fixed up with a new top that's going to be waterproof, weatherproof for them. Because as you can see, there is some serious rot. It's just losing integrity here. And as many times as I've tried to caulk it and paint it, which is not easy with bees in it, it is just not holding up any longer. And this group of bees have chosen not to use the front entrance that I made for them, but to use a little back entrance back in this corner, which there must be a little hole in the netting from the bottom, which is fine. That's okay. They can do what they want to. Now, it might seem straightforward to you to make a top for this hive, but it's not as straightforward as it seems. Let me explain. Now, this is a top bar hive. At least the bottom part of it is. That means they're building on these top bars. They build their comb like this. But this hive is a little bit special in that I saw a hive once that was a hybrid between a top bar hive and a Langstroth hive. So let me explain, let me just show you what I mean by that. What I mean is that this hive is meant to have these honey boxes on it. So the point is, the objective is for the bees to build out this whole top bar down here, and this would be their hive. And then they would come up into the honey boxes, which are Langstroth. They've got frames instead of top bars. And we would put a queen excluder on the bottom of both of these boxes so that the queen wouldn't be able to come through and lay her eggs up here. But this would just be our honey boxes. So this would be easy to harvest every year. I wouldn't have to mess with this part of the hive, could leave that to the bees. And I would just come and harvest the honey, and we can put these in a cylindrical harvester, meaning like a one that goes round and round and drains the honey out. First cut the caps off, and well, anyway, put them in a honey harvester and harvest the honey, and then put the frames full of wax, empty wax, back in here so that they can quickly and easily fill them up again. So that, I thought it was a huge advantage. I saw one once, I loved it, and I told my brother-in-law, this is what I want. I want a top bar hybrid Langstroth, or a top bar with honey boxes on top. Let's call it that way. So my brother-in-law came up with the most innovative design. He built it so that this cover here fits down over these honey boxes. I'm not going to do it right now because the cover is really losing integrity. It's about to just fall apart on us. But that was the idea. So it was too heavy when we fit it over the honey boxes. It was too heavy, so he worked really hard to put it on these wonderful hinges. So it is an amazing design. He worked so hard. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant carpenter, and so that was just amazing. That was so sweet of him. And I kind of wish that I had just, before it started to rot, I wish I just screwed down a fiberglass piece to protect the integrity of this top. But that is not what happened. I did not catch it in time to do that. And so now I am put to the task of building a top for this. A top that will fit on these boxes if I get to use them. I haven't gotten to use them yet. This hive has never filled up completely on that bottom part. I've just not had good luck with bees in this hive for some reason. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the top letting in water. I don't know. I don't think so, but anyway. So that's my goal. So that is my goal, is to build a top bar with honey boxes on top and build a roof that can sit on this top bar without the honey boxes until, hopefully, thinking into the future that I will get to use them, and speaking that into my adventure, that I need a top that fits on these boxes. So it gets kind of complicated when you try to do all that. Not just a regular lid to a top bar is what I'm trying to get across. Now, some of you hardcore beekeepers might be saying, well, Dash, how are those bees going to get from the bottom to the top? So this is how this works. we can remove several of these bars like that, and then put the box on top. I move more than one of these bars, put the box on top, and then the bees can come and go from the bottom hive as they please. Now you might also be saying, okay Dash, but that leaves a hole where other bees can come in and rob them out. You know, it's not just access from the hive. So my brother-in-law came up with this brilliant piece of wood. And it fits on there exactly the width of a top bar. Let's see, it goes on like this. Exactly the width of the top bar. Plugs up that hole, and there's one for the back space too, so that it's all enclosed from outside bees and insects and everything to get in there. So it was just such a brilliant idea, and I'm still going to use those if I'm able to use the honey boxes. All right, that's just for you hardcore beekeepers that are like, how does this work? Another option would have been, we didn't think of this at the time, but would have been to build the top bar to the same measurement as these boxes. So it's one complete unit. In other words, it doesn't make a space here. To build this at the right measurement, the bottom part of the top bar, so that there is no space there, that these fit over the top bars. I'm hoping I'm making sense there. So it's one big unit. Yeah, so there's no space. It doesn't sit on top of the top bars, I guess, is the way I'm trying to say this. It sits around them. It encloses them in the system. Anyway, so building a top to this has not been as straightforward as I would have hoped. That is, if I want to keep this feature, which I do. So after much deliberating, we decided to build a top that would fit along the edge of these, boxes. So if I ever wanted to use the boxes, it would just fit right on there and keep that ready for honey storage. But in the meantime, I'm not using the boxes. It would also set on the bars and protect the whole unit from water damage. And it needed to come out enough on the ends to come over this entrance. I wanted this entrance to be water-free, which it is not now. And then I have a beautiful onboard feeder in the back. And I also want this to be covered because it seems to be taking in a lot of water. As much as the sugar water, every time it rains, it's taking in a lot of regular rainwater, which is a problem. So it needs to come, on either side it needs to come overlap, so we have some protection from the rain. All right, I'm gonna show you what I came up with for this beauty. Lynn is helping me, my friend, because she has to build her brain. She's amazing that way.
Well, I have been to build a bear, so does that count?
Build a bear?
Build a bear, yeah, you know the build a
No, that doesn't count.
I don't think that's really quite what you had in mind, but it's sort of the same. I mean, construction is construction is construction.
You're way too humble.
It's all about seams and angles.
Measurements.
Okay. All right. Okay, so now here we've got A, and that is marked on the inside. So basically we have this.
Yeah, those are two ends. These are the sides.
Those are the sides. So by the end of today, if we can make these cuts,
Yep.
then we can connect these guys, cut this to size,
Yep.
and that's probably going to be time.
Yes.
So let's cut
You
these.
can do it. So this is what we ended up with. Something that fits on those boxes that I can use without the boxes for now, that has a lot of overhang on either end. Yes, after much deliberation and thought went into this. And it's light enough for me to lift off by myself if I'm taking care of my hive. Not as good as the other one, but that's okay. This is gonna keep them waterproof. And it'll also work when I put those boxes on, because I'm believing that's gonna happen, the honey boxes. Anyway, this problem is for you guys. I need your help. One thing I forgot was this is really too light. It'll blow off in a windstorm, I think. So for now, I'm gonna put a couple of bricks on it. But if you guys come up with the solution, I can't really hook it. I could hook it to the top bars, but I don't see a place I can really hook it on. Anyway, help me out, you guys. Come up with something. How do I keep the wind from blowing this away? Besides the ugly bricks on top, but for right now, that's what we're doing. That's heavy enough to hold it on?
Depends on the wind. Like that.
Okay, so we're already coming up with some ideas. Maybe a cable in there. It's hard to see. But yeah, that's what I love about homesteading. You have a problem and you work to find a solution. It's super fun.